Hello everyone, welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at what if, and we're looking at two questions here. Machinegun jetpack, meaning could you have a jetpack using machine guns? And a second question, rising steadily. If you were rising 1 foot per second, would you suffocate first or freeze to death first? And also looking really quickly at the weird, it should be weird and worrying questions, part 3. So let's jump straight into it. First one, if you're thinking about having a jetpack made out of machine guns, you have to think about your thrust to weight ratio. That means that everything has a weight, and if there's not enough power to move that weight, it's not going to move anywhere. So some guns, when you shoot them, okay, the pushback of that gun is about the same weight as the gun. So if you shoot, poof, 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 it might move, but it's not going to be enough to give lift. So you have to think about the thrust to weight ratio. Luckily, there are some machine guns with a huge thrust to weight ratio. In particular, we're going to look at an AK-47 and some other ones. AK-47, I think, has a 2-to-1 thrust ratio, so it has twice as much power as the weight. So, or it has like 2 pounds of power to 1 pound of the gun, or something like that. And so if you had a machine gun, you could theoretically make a machine gun jetpack. If you put your body weight in there, though, you'd have to have, I think they say, like 20 machine guns. And if you shot them all at the same time, you would thrust. You would increase for about 10 seconds. And that would be, I think, he says like 30 feet or something. I don't know, 3 feet. And the AK-47 can launch you in the air as a jetpack. We looked at a few other machine guns. An MG42. I can't remember where this machine gun was. It might be on the ground machine gun that has quite a bit of power, and that can lift you up into the air more easily than an AK-47. But hey, let's get even crazier. Let's get to these air machine guns. So these machine guns on these airplanes, a GUA-8, and that machine gun is so strong that an airplane, it'll almost push the airplane back. Not quite. Maybe keep it just a little bit forward, but it has so much power shooting forward that it can stop the airplane from flying forward. So that's a pretty amazing machine gun, and it can launch you very well into the sky. The last gun here, the GSH 630, that machine gun, I think it was made by Russians, is so powerful that it will actually push the airplane backwards, and it will break the glass on the airplane. So let's see, what would happen when it would shoot the machine gun? Some glass would break, the lights maybe or something, and so they couldn't even use this machine gun on an airplane because it was so powerful it would break things on the airplane. But if you had this machine gun, you could jump in the air and turn on the machine gun and jump over mountains. That's how powerful the machine gun would be. It would be pretty awesome. That leaves us to our second question. Okay, if you were floating in the air 1 foot a second, what would happen to you? Well, the first 30 seconds, you would float up about 30 feet. Not too bad. But if someone wanted to throw you some food or throw you some water, they'd have to do this about this time, because After about 25 minutes, you would be higher or you'd be about the same level as the Empire State Building. Okay. Things might get a little chilly, but not too bad yet. How about 1 hour? After 1 hour, you'll be 1 kilometer into the air. Whew, okay. Things are starting to get cold. Hopefully, you brought some great coats. If you didn't bring any good winter wear, after 2 hours, you're going to start getting frostbite. The wind is going to be so cold, any part of your skin that the air can touch will probably freeze. Oh my goodness. After 5 hours, even if you're bundled up really well, you're going to get hypothermia. And that's where your body kind of loses its ability to warm itself. And so you just keep getting colder and colder and colder. After 7 hours, you're going to reach the dead zone. And in the dead zone, oxygen is so little oxygen that you can't breathe and put oxygen in your body. And so after 7 hours, finally you would die. If you didn't die from the cold before then. If you continued after that, you would be like Claude Tombaugh, who discovered Pluto, and some of his ashes were sent into a satellite. There we go. Couldn't remember what it was. Into the outer space, and I can't remember if they shot past Pluto or if they went to Pluto, but you would continue, just like him, escaping the Earth's atmosphere and leaving our solar system. And when the sun expands and destroys everything billions of years later from now, you and this guy would still be floating out your ashes into the unknown universe. And that leaves us with our weird questions, which is, with our capacities as a human race, do you think we'll ever be able to make a star? Interesting. And this one, what would the logistics be? Meaning the plans, the food, the control of having an army made of apes be like? And both of those questions are a little weird and definitely worrying. Oh, is there one more? Oh yeah, this one is weird. If humans had wings like an airplane and like jets or wheels or something, how would you distinguish airplanes from humans? Oh, that's a weird picture of human airplane people. That leaves us with some vocabulary. Recoil. Okay, remember we're talking about that gun? When you shoot a gun, the blast that shoots out the bullet also, boom, shoots the gun backwards. We call that recoil, where the explosion shoots the case backwards also and shoots the gun or the bullet forward. Recoil. Cartridge. I don't know if you've ever seen a bullet. Let me draw one here for you. A bullet has a few parts actually, and we're just going to talk about two. There's this part. This is the actual bullet. The bullet is in a cartridge. Okay? And this is what the author talks about. These cartridges have weight. The bullet has weight. So if you think about how much ammunition you have for your machine gun air pack, that weight is going to cause problems. And even in this weight, there is like gunpowder and other things to shoot the shell. But that is a cartridge. Cartridge can be like a holder, really. If you have a Nintendo Switch, we call those game cartridges. Those little square little pieces of plastic that you stick in your Nintendo Switch that carry the game memory, We call those a cartridge, USB cartridge, game cartridge, meaning a container. Contraption, to continue on, is like an invention, something that you make to do something weird or interesting or special or unique. Barometer, that is a tool to measure air pressure. Is it moisture? I believe it's air pressure. Yes, air pressure. And some phones have barometers on them that can measure the pressure in the air around them. Deprivation. This is oxygen deprivation, which you can guess means without. Deprivation, take away. My mother deprived me from candy all my life. She took it away. Or video games. Or, in our case, getting high enough into the atmosphere from oxygen. Oxygen deprivation, suffocation. Hypothermia, we already talked about. When your body kind of loses the power to heat itself. And that leaves us with our discussion question. And there's a game that we play in America called Would You Rather? And you try to think of two really terrible or two really great things and choose between them. So my discussion question for us is, would you rather freeze to death or suffocate? Oh man, you're going to die in both of these circumstances, but which way would you prefer to die? Another example of would you rather would be something like, would you rather only eat cookies for the rest of your life or only eat ice cream for the rest of your life? Man, ice cream and cookies, two great things. But only having one for the rest of your life, that choice can be hard. Okay, so that's a really fun game. One of my favorite I love playing, but it says, would you rather A or B? That's kind of the pattern. Of course, please make your own discussion question. If you want, you can even try using the would you rather pattern. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.